Recording has started.
This video will be in audio only. My name is Melissa Powell. Welcome to video 4 of my Android series. In the last video, just to do a quick recap, we talked about how you can Bluetooth a keyboard to your tablet as well as using talkback gestures. And so if you missed that video, I would encourage you to watch it. It's called Bluetoothing a Keyboard to an Android Device, because in this video I'm going to be using several key commands as well as screen navigation. I think it's good to know both ways to do something so that you can choose which way you like best. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is opening apps, and there's a couple ways you can do this. I'll talk about the screen as well as the keyboard. So on the screen, you would swipe up and then left, and that will bring up your home screen. You would swipe right till you locate the apps icon, and you would hold your finger on it, double tap to open. On the keyboard, you would press Control-H. You would navigate by pressing Alt right arrow to the app that you would like to open, and then you would press Alt Enter and the app icon will be open. So that's how you locate the app icon, and then once you have your apps icon or apps folder open on the screen, you would swipe from left to right, and this would move you forward through your list of apps, or right to left would move you back through your list of apps. You would swipe until you locate the app you would like to open, double tap it, and the app would open. Now on your keyboard, you would press Alt right arrow till you locate the app that you would like to open, and then you would simply just press Alt Enter and the app would open. Now I'm going to explain a little bit how you can navigate through the different elements or options in an app. So like, let's say for example that you have an app open that is a web page, or you might have a book, and in this book you have a list of chapters. So to navigate through the list of anything in an app, whether it be links, buttons, what have you, you would swipe from left to the right across the screen, hold your finger on the link button or item that you would like to open, and double tap. On the keyboard, you would do the same thing that we've been doing. You would press Alt right arrow till you locate what you'd like to open inside your app, and then you'd press Alt Enter to open it. You can switch between recent apps, and to do this, you would open your app overview, and you would on this screen swipe left and then up, and this will open your app overview. And then you would swipe left to right to locate the app that you would like to open. Press your finger down on it, and then double tap. On the keyboard, there is a keyboard command for your app overview or your recent apps, which recent apps app overview is the same thing. So you would press Control Alt R, and this would bring up your list of recent apps. You would press Alt right arrow to navigate to the app that you would like to open, and you would press Alt Enter to open it. You can show two apps at the same time, and you do this by creating a split screen view. The first thing you need to do is open the first app, and once you open this app, it will display in the top part of your screen. Then you would navigate to the overview button by swiping left and then up. And so on the top of the screen, you would have the app that you have open. And on the bottom of the screen, once as you double tap your overview button, you would have your list of recent apps. And so to choose the next app that you would like to open for your split screen, you could either Alt right arrow to it with the keyboard and press Alt Enter, or you could swipe from left to right till you locate that app, and then you could double tap it. And then that app would open in the bottom of your screen where your recent apps were opened. So you'll have one app on the top. The second app that you opened will be located at the bottom of your screen. If your screen is in landscape mode, you'll have an app on the left and an app on the right instead of an app on the top and an app on the bottom like you would in portrait mode. You can adjust the size of the split screen. So you can explore by touch, or you can navigate to the split screen divider by swiping from left to right, or by pressing Alt right arrow till you locate the split divider. So if you're on the screen, you would double tap. If you're using the keyboard, you would press Alt Enter. This is a local context menu, and on the screen to open that, you would swipe up and then right, or on the keyboard, there is a keyboard command, of course, to do. And the keyboard command is Control Alt Spacebar, and this will open your local context menu.
Chat head with.
So after you get it open, there are some options that you can choose from. So you need to select the option that you would like, and it's under Select Actions. So double tap on Select Actions, and these are the options. You have top full screen, top 50%, or bottom full screen, or in your landscape mode, you would have left and right instead of top and bottom. So navigate to one of these options, use the navigation style of your choice, and open it. And then your split screen view will be in the size that you chose. So to navigate the split screen view, go to your overview button by swiping up then right, or by pressing Control Alt R. And then you would double tap it and hold on it with your finger. So after you double tap, you would hold on it for a second, or the keyboard command to double tap and hold would be Control Alt Shift Enter. Okay, now I'm going to tell you how to close out an app. And so the first thing you would do is open up your app overview, and you would swipe you would swipe right and then up to open your app's overview, or you would press your Control Alt R, and you'll have your list of apps displayed, so you can navigate by swiping from the left to the right of the screen. And the first option is dismiss all applications. You could double tap that to dismiss it. Or you could Alt Enter would dismiss it on the keyboard. Then after that button, you'll have all your apps. And to the right of each app, there's a couple buttons, and depending on what the app, like it'll show the name of the app, and then it'll show a dismiss button. And you want to swipe right across the screen until you locate the dismiss button for the app that you would like to close, and you would hold your finger on it and double tap. And with the keyboard, you would press right Alt arrow, and you would navigate through the apps, and the same thing applies after each app. You would locate the dismiss button for the app that you'd like to dismiss, and then you would press Alt Enter, and the app would be closed. I recommend when you have a bunch of apps open on your device, it makes it run really slow, and it could freeze up your device. So I would recommend going in and closing your apps once you're done using them. You could probably get away with having 2 or 3 open, but I wouldn't recommend having any more open than that. If you want to go back to the home screen, you can do that by swiping up then left, or by pressing Alt H. The next thing I'm going to talk about is answering and hanging up calls in your TalkBack, and this is a really important feature.
Unlabeled button, camcorder.
You need to be
Press
able
Alt plus Enter
to
to activate.
answer and hang up a call if you have a smartphone. So here we go with that. So when you receive an incoming call on your caller ID, TalkBack will announce the incoming call. You would probably hear a number. You may hear a name if the name's available, or if it's in your contacts list. So to answer an incoming call, place your finger about 3/4 of the way down the screen, so almost to the bottom, but not quite. And then you would swipe right. To reject the call, you would swipe left instead of right. To reject the call and send a text message, you would swipe up. To hang up, you would press the power button, and this is a great feature because they didn't used to have this feature a couple years ago when I had my smartphone, which was a Samsung Galaxy, but now they do, and it makes it a lot easier. So you need to go into your TalkBack settings and turn this on, so I'm going to go ahead and explain how to do that. So you would go to your home screen, then you would go to your apps folder and open it. You would go to your settings, then you would go and open that, and then you would open your accessibility category, and then you would go to the power button ends call setting, and then you would double tap to turn it on, and now your power button should hang up your phone for you. Now I'm going to explain the phone app on your device. Now this may vary a little bit depending on what brand of smartphone you have, and I actually had to go online and look this up because I no longer have a smartphone, I have a tablet. So I wanted to get a diagram of where these buttons are located to give you a general idea of how the phone app works. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll explain this the best I can.
Chat head with Unlabeled button. Camcorder.
Okay, so
Press
the
Alt
first
plus Enter
thing
to
we
activate.
have is our your search for contacts and places, and this is a search button. And this button is located on the top left corner of the screen, just below the status bar. And you can search your contacts here, or if you have a network location or network connection and your location is turned on, you could search restaurants, you could search any kind of business, and you could find a phone number here. The next button you have is your recent calls. Below the search button, you'll have a list of recent calls. These could be calls that you recently dialed or that have called you. And right by each name or number on that list, you'll have a button, and you can swipe right to locate this button, and you can double tap it and you can call the person back. The next thing you have are your navigation tabs. Below the list of recent calls, there are 3 tabs: speed dial, recents, and contacts. Speed dial contains numbers that you've marked as favorites or numbers that you have recently that you call quite a bit. Your recent calls, of course, contain your recent calls, the people that have called you or the people that you've called, and then your contacts contain the contacts that you've saved. And you can double tap on any of these buttons to activate them. Then you have your dial pad, and of course you would double tap that, and then there'll be a keyboard displayed. Now, how you dial on an Android phone is you move your finger around the screen. When you touch the number that you would like to enter, you lift your finger up and the number is inserted. So that's how you dial your phone.
17 unlabeled button. 1759.
And then you have in-call options. So, and these are at the top of the screen. And so you can activate these checkboxes during the call as needed. The first one is in-call options. And then you have your speakerphone button. And to check a checkbox, you double tap it. So you have your speakerphone, your new button, and your end call options. And so these, I hope this helps you in making and managing your phone calls. Now I am going to go in a little bit more detail and tell you some more of the things that you can do with your Android device here on your phone app. So to make and receive a phone call, You can make phone calls from these apps. Your phone app or your contacts app. Maybe like you have some Facebook contacts that you'd like to call. Or there's other apps or widgets that show your contacts. Wherever you see a phone number, you can usually tap it to dial. So to make a phone call, you open your device's phone app. Then you need to choose who you want to call, of course. To enter a number, you would tap the dial pad. Then you would enter the number, and remember I said move your finger around the bottom of the screen is where your dial pad is. When you find the number that you would like to insert, lift your finger on it. So like 1, and then you would find 4, and then you would find 3, and then you would find 5, and so on. Or you could pick a save contact. To do this, you would tap your contacts button, double tap that, and then you would navigate through your list of saved contacts, and then you would double tap on the one that you'd like to call. To pick from numbers that you've recently called or that have recently called you, tap Recents. Navigate through your list of recent calls by swiping from left to right. When you find one that you would like to dial, you just double tap the number. To pick from a contact saved to speed dial, you would tap speed dial and navigate through your list of contacts there, again by swiping from left to right across the screen, and then double tapping the contact you'd like to call. When you're done with the call, you would either tap End Call or the power button. To answer a phone call when your screen is locked, now this is a little different. If your screen's locked, it's a little different to answer a call than just swiping. When you get a phone call, the caller's number will be displayed, and then you may see the caller's name if it's available. So you need to locate the answer button, and you need to double tap it if your screen's locked to answer the call. To reject the call, you would tap the reject button, and it's located to the left of the answer button, pretty close to the bottom of your screen, about 3/4 down in the middle. To reject the call and send a text message to the caller, you would double tap message, and then you would be able to send a text message. If you've set up voicemail, your rejected calls can save message, and here's how you can do call waiting. To pause a conversation without hanging up, you would tap hold. And to pick up the call again, you would tap hold again. To switch between current calls, you would tap switch. And then the other person will be put on hold that you were talking to. You can merge current calls into like a conference call, and to do this, you would tap call merge. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful for you, and we will see you next time. And if you have any comments or anything that you'd like to leave me, feel free to do so.
Review cancel button. Press Alt plus and Shutter button. Press Alt.